notice. Let me put President Bouakai on notice. Every flashlight you show, it will be shown 100-fold back at you. The trouble you are looking for, that trouble will come after you leave power. Because everything that you do will be copied 100-fold. We cannot allow someone like President Bouakai to bring trouble in our community. Claude Martin is not credible. This man is looking for fee, he's looking for money for support his budget. And so he had to bring some silly cases before the court so they can say, yeah, Claude Martin is working. There are so many cases that he has not even gone through. He's not able to prosecute, but he's looking for additional one. Okay, let's go to Claude Martin, the first lady. Oh my God, Claude Martin has cut the booker that the biggest thing he's going to gain some money to be able to prosecute these people. That's all Claude Martin is looking for, to eat some of the money, to steal some of that money and then fill his belly. But this rabbit hole that they are digging, CDC will not forget that.
How does he see George Weah? What he thinks of George Weah from Liberia's peace, stability, and security vis-a-vis the current situation?
People like George Weah are living in this world for peace to reign, and that's why you people don't respect. People like George Weah are living in this world for unity to reign, and that's why you people don't respect in this country, in this world. People like George Weah are living for coexistence to reign, and that's why you guys don't respect in this world. Katuma will pay the same way legally if they do anything that is stupid and is not correct. That rabbit hole that they are going in, that rabbit hole will be too long and too tedious for them to get back out of it. This is not a good example. Like, do not allow themselves to go through this rabbit hole. People like George Weah are living in this world for peace to reign, and that's why you people don't respect. People like George Weah are living in this world for unity to reign, and that's why you people don't respect in this country, in this world. People like George Weah are living for coexistence to reign, and that's why you guys don't respect in this world. Katuma will pay the same way legally if they do anything that is stupid and is not correct. That rabbit hole that they are going in, that rabbit hole will be too long and too tedious for them to get back out of it. This is not a good example. Like, do not allow themselves to go through this rabbit hole.
0772-2399-33 at 0886 30 44 97 0777 9803 75. The numbers to have your say. Then we are out for today.
This world for peace to reign, and that's why you people don't respect. People like George Weah are living in this world for unity to reign, and that's why you people don't respect in this country, in this world. People like George Weah are living for coexistence to reign, and that's why you guys don't respect in this world. Katuma will pay the same way legally if they do anything that is stupid and is not correct. That rabbit hole that they are going in, that rabbit hole will be too long and too tedious for them to get back out of it. This is not a good example. Like, do not allow themselves to go through this rabbit hole. My problem with this process is that Claude Martin is doing a fishing expedition. Claude Martin is doing a fishing expedition. I would think when you are subpoenaing documents, I would think when you are subpoenaing documents, there will be specification of documents that you are going to be subpoenaing. But they are asking that Claude Weah bring out documents. It's like, Claude Weah, go in your vault and bring all the documents that you have, bring it before the court. That's the way it looked to me. It's like a fishing expedition. We don't have nothing. We don't have anything in our hand, but we want the person to prosecute. We want them to produce evidence against themselves. Do you have a law in Liberia that you will base your legal premise on to carry a first lady to court because she solicited donation by herself to build an institution? Everything in Liberia should be based on law, not on feelings, not on sentiment, not on wish, not on wish hunt. This is a stinking process that the asset recovery team is on. It's a rabbit hole that they are putting themselves, because there is no way that you can go out there. I'm not a lawyer, but what lawyers I've talked to, lawyers I know, if you want to ask for document, you don't ask for blanket document. You can't just go and bring any document that you got when you're asking, when you are filing for a subpoena for a ducis ticum. You specify what kind of document that you don't still have in your possession that she has. In this situation, we don't see a list of documents they want. Do they want the article incorporation? Do they want donation the donation list from private individual? Do they want government cutting check to her from the ministry or from the national bank the central bank? What kind of document are they looking for? What kind of are they looking for? Document list of children? Are they looking for document of some kind of her own money that she may have taken to start the process? And there wasn't enough money that I was earning, and I have to go to beg people to help. I took their call card, I took their business card, I called them, I engaged them, there is no law in the Liberian system currently that if a first lady goes and asks for donation from outside, then she can be prosecuted on the basis of that law. We want to see that. But this is a rabbit hole they are going to. But here's the thing. Here is a trap they want to set for us, the prospective sedition and seditions. They want to think that they want to introduce an ideology that we will say, no, it's not supposed to be so. Then they say, oh, they don't respect the law. Let me just tell you, let me put the people on notice. Let me put President Bouakai on notice. Every flashlight you show, it will be shown 100-fold back at you. The trouble you are looking for, that trouble will come after you leave power. Because everything that you do will be copied 100-fold. We cannot allow someone like President Bouakai to bring trouble in our community. Clamati is not credible. This man is looking for fee, he's looking for money for support his budget. And so he had to bring some silly cases before the court so they can say, yeah, Clamati is working. There are so many cases that he has not even gone through. He's not able to prosecute. But he's looking for additional one. Okay, let's go to Clamati, the first lady. Oh my God, Clamati has cut the buka. That the biggest thing he's going now, we got to gain some money to be able to prosecute these people. That's all Clamati is looking for. To eat some of the money, to steal some of that money and then fill his belly. But this rabbit hole that they are digging, CDC will not forget that.
Okay, so that's it. Very interesting. Something get me laughing here. Hey man, they say if gender, the building that caught fire or fire caught yesterday, the people took on looting. One of the ladies, yes, she took a freezer, a mini freezer. They say if gender looting. There you go. Yeah. That thing in way back. We're finished with the war. Looting way back. Everybody done with it. You're still doing it in the Canada. Hey man. The real looted that place though. All right. Those are the pointers. Thank you ever so much. Today is Wednesday. We have to go. Let's take few calls as we can. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 980375. We take few calls, then we are out for today. Those are the pointers. Where is my guy? Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I'm calling from Banana Estate.
Let's hear you, Martha.
Yes, Thank you so much for the topic of discussion. But everything that Baka is doing, he just missing target because for one fact, he's so target that we are in, he missing target because instead of he doing the right thing while the Liberian people elected him, he's there chasing after we are in his family. Because he can say he came to rescue, but instead of you rescuing, you kill him. Seizing things that belong to you. Seizing things that someone did with their own money. There's not a reason that people voted him because as for me, I never even voted him. Those that voted him to rescue us because he told us that we're dying. We are not going to school. We are not no broke for him. He get 5,000 and he get experience, 5,000 experience. But yet they still the experience. He not producing 7% of it. So me, I want to tell Baka that if he think we are his target, he missing it because he won't work. Everything he bring, he will go back to him and his government official. Thank you.
The board said they want ABC and say after the former first lady, they're going to George Weah himself.
That one, that the last place where we should Baka making fun when he said, if our Baka, he just will tell a government official say, they war you're starting, and not able to end it. So you say, but if you think like he will let him try. Because someone for war, but I think we'll practice for work.
No, nobody bringing war. Not fighting war. That didn't finish way bad. That 1990 thing there.
Yeah, but the war that Baka won't bring now because you can say you can come rescue, but you there chasing after people. We are did nothing to him. If we are ever had something evil about Baka, we are never going to take his own money and send him above for treatment.
Yeah.
Baka is my own countryman, but that means he's heartless. He can't forgive. He's my own countryman, but he's heartless. He can't forgive. That is still Baka get. That's why he danced with the devil because he only in devil from early.
All right, my dear. Thank you ever so much.
All right, thank you.
JB. You want to know. That is why when you spare, you always have that effect. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Edmond. Thank you for the enlightenment. That's welcoming and encouraging. You know, brother, LEC, that's a blatant lie. You know, since when the LEC's trouble started, more than 3 weeks ago, we have been experiencing this thing.
Yeah.
Last night, around 11 o'clock for our Saya River community, current left, between 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock it left. 2 Israel came on, it left again. Our blessed heart of back with me. Immediately the show either at 10 o'clock, it left, it didn't come back until you were coming on. So that is how you look at it. You come, you tell us the situation, you are resolved the situation. Then we are still facing the same. But Lord, you know, the guy need to try. Not everything do politics. When you can't clear, we are already aware of the situation. We've been here. Rainy season, dry season, we are aware what can happen. But because they are supporters, and even themselves that are in power, they will believe that they were doing well. Now we have come to the dry season now. They want to cover it. There is no way that they can cover it. The same situation still happening. Then you can't, you leave it all online for articles and this and that. That's not true. In fact, that particular article money that was going to pay, the government is waiting for that $200 million from Media so they can be able to give $50 million to LEC in a budget. There was some of the money going. So why if the money don't come sooner? Where will get money to service LEC, deal with articles, and then be able to do all things for current to be flowing? Look, to class, look, man, we are here, and these children that are over there, they are not Jamaican children. They are Liberians, neglected children, that they are over there, you are trying to prepare and help. Whatsoever Baka want to do, the only thing we are saying for our president, we are, When that time comes, just leave the people with us. We will handle it. Thank you.
So, Emokai, you in your area, you have current presently?
Yeah. A king, as soon as you came on, as soon as the show came on, my own king. Then as soon you are going through now your own left.
Yo.
You see that? So now it's here. So as I'm sitting in all foreign, my battery laying out rest on me. So leave, I put my battery in.
You just know that it can go anytime.
Anytime. So this is the time I used to wake up to fix my tea if they around 5 o'clock, I woke up 5 o'clock to fix tea to drink it. Oh, I was going to be drinking tea 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, don't mind the people, they can lie.
They can lie. You don't do that.
They
You don't talk about Canada with these things because we are fools. We're the ones that are benefiting. If
Yeah.
it's not there, it's not there. Say the truth, at least you'll be safe or let it be like people will have mercy on you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man.
All right, Mr. Carr, have a nice day. Yeah, they don't want to tell the truth. We know about it. To sustain that thing is not easy. The pressure that George Weah went through to keep that CLSG agreement intact wasn't you're doing a joke thing. Hello.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Mr. Andrews, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from a purple corner, Town Coast Spoon Hill, Wake community. Mr. Andrews, thank you very much for your student discussion and your 3 pointers. For my mind, my attention has been drawn to 2. And the 2 are that of the LEC and the issue that has to do with Clark Marie Hope Foundation. Mr. Andrews, I strongly believe that the Clark Marie Hope Foundation issue it is a distraction.
Yo, listening, my man. A distraction. You went off, oh. You went off, Spencer. You went off. It is a difficult task. It's not easy to sustain that thing. I know the atmosphere. Only person, if the people who were in here or did not experience that would say, yeah, oh, easy. It's not easy. The financial aspect is always the problem. What did Africa say? Africa, during we had time, it was not technical. They say, oh, my man, XYZ, finance, the government look at it and say, because you're not generating. The country is not generating the revenue needed. And assume you have to pay 2 million United States dollars every month. Multiply that 2 million by 12. And your country is not generating the kind of revenue domestically to sustain that. The hydro, dry season, the water is dried. So you will depend on fuel oil, and it goes, I think, around 25 or 35 gallons every day. Imagine how much money that you're spending. Energy is very expensive, very, very expensive. They are experiencing a serious problem from a financial standpoint that something might likely happen. They put it on a shock, a feedback. That's the reason they say, how can that be? If that is the case, certain community will not be off, certain community on. Everybody will go off. If it is a shock, if it is a feedback, as LEC said in their statement, then it simply means the entire system, everything will go off. Everybody will go off. But you have some people on, then you have some people off, some community on, some community off. So the feedback knows what community to be on and what community to be off. That what the feedback. The people even know how to give something convincing to the public. If it is a feedback, it goes across. It affects everything, everywhere. The entire city is down. But you have some area on, some community on, some community. Then how now is a feedback. things not really okay. It's not really okay as the way they portray it. They'll say, oh, LEC stable. President Bwaga be we are in electricity. President Bwaga be we are electricity. Same President Bwaga came to power, electricity stable. Yeah. In raining. This is the today is the 21st of January. We're in dry season. It was only raining the beginning of the year based on God's own knowledge. But since those days, no rain. In the night, no rain. In the day, no rain. Sun shining. So the hydro is not filled again. The hydro dry. They are using LEC, not LEC, but generator. That's the LSG line. And no, they did not tell the truth. Not at all. They did not tell the truth. So we are, let me get in my zeal, but let me find my guy first. Then I get in my zeal for that. Our role is George Weah. And George Weah is the standard bearer of the Congress for Democratic Change. Our responsibility is to promote the image, the policy of George Weah. The people who are with George Weah, they have their own program. They know what they are doing. But we are responsible. It's our responsibility, it's our work, it's our role. Yes. Everything George Weah. Everything George Weah. So when people get uncomfortable, the last time I heard Israel complaining that people say, oh, we're talking for George Weah. Oh, it makes sense. The people on how they call them, Punch FM, that Joe Boakai, FBS, that Joe Boakai, where Dillon Radio, Senator Dillon and Senator Yambli Kanga Radio, Bushro, that Jose Yima Boakai. You can never say anything about George Weah on Bushro Radio. You can never say anything about George Weah on all of their radios. They promote the image of Jose Yima Boakai. George Weah is our project. Our project is George Weah. We are responsible to sell the policy of George Weah, to present the image George Weah. It is our responsibility. Nobody else. We owe it to nobody besides George Weah. So let's go. I have my two guys set. Let's take this break. Then we get into Weah Returns 2020. Oh, not at all. We will not. That's what they want us to do, to think and feel. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. The few minutes we've got, just so you know. What the George Weah say when they broke down or Unity Party destroyed CDC headquarters? In his reaction, I like that phrase. He said, failed attempt. Yeah. You see that same failed attempt with the Asson case. We have another failed attempt before us. The lawyers, the legal team of Cloud Hope Foundation have moved to request the court to squash what the assets recovery ran to George Roosevelt Willie with that it doesn't make sense under no circumstances. It's too elementary. They just did that with the court. They did that with the court. The document is right here. That's good. That's good. Say, before His Honor, Roosevelt Z. Willie, Resident Circuit Judge, motion to quash writ of subpoena Deuces Tecum. The management of Cloud Hope Foundation and by and through its general manager, Jackson Gbemi, deputies and all acting under his authorities of Marshall Road, Magibi County, Liberia, petitioner versus Assets and Property Retrieval Task Force by and through its chairman, Councilor Edwin K. Martin, respondent, growing out of the case. Motion to quash writ of subpoena Deuces Tecum for lack of jurisdiction. Lack of jurisdiction. That's the document file. They say, and now comes the the legal team. They both know. That's why the woman is not really trouble. Yeah, that's reasoning. That legal thing. That's not politics. It's not might makes right. No. If I were the people in Unity Party, would just drop this hateful, this grudge, malice, and just focus on what we have to do as you promise the people. Then to be running after the people gone. It's in court now. They say, no, it does not make sense. So, George Roosevelt Willie, by jurisdiction, A is low. You have to do away with it. So that's count 1, count 2. Okay. So the woman or the foundation lawyers or file they're requesting they file a motion to quash the writ of subpoena sprayed for or requested by the Asset and Property Retrieval Task Force. The foundation lawyers move to request or file a motion to quash that writ of subpoena. Does not make sense at all. All right. So all of us knows, everybody knows that it is that George Weah is the target. That George Weah is the target. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029, and he is the target because he is the only powerful political figure in Liberia. He is the only powerful political figure. He is the only political czar. He is the only force to reckon with People are opening the line. I gave you the time. You go and move on now. This is how I close the show. So I finish with the pointers. I announce the numbers. Just start calling. Talk as you will. If you allow me to get into my official office, we are returns 2029, my propaganda office, I'm not receiving call again. Hey, Israel this morning, yeah, we can sit down and start talking from 3 all the way to 7 o'clock. That our area we're trained to eat. So when when we open the line, just start calling. When you wait until I get in my propaganda office, we are returns 2029. No, even God calling, I will not recognize him because that's what I'm focused on. He is the force to reckon with. Unity Party and Joseph Yoma Boakai afraid of George Weah. Nobody in this country that Unity Party is afraid of. No name they afraid of. No name that surpasses every other name politically in this country than George Weah. The name is a fright in Unity Party. When they hear that name, they frighten. George Weah. 2029, ahead of us, they are planning. Equally, Weah is preparing. They are planning. Weah is preparing. 2 P's. One is devilish, the other is democratic. They are planning. Weah is preparing. They are planning to stop Weah. Weah is planning to win them, and he will win them. I want you to listen carefully to these lines. Listen carefully to these two.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency.
And that is why, truly, from this line you're about to listen to, he is on top of his game. He knows that very well. He knows he is the target. He knows that they, going into 2029, they will do everything they can to stifle him. So he is aware of their game. He knows their trick. And as the line would say, will not buy into their tricks.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks.
If they think George Weah is not aware because he's not shouting and screaming unnecessarily like empty drum, as we see of other people, they are mistaken. It is not who shouts and screams, or if a person shouts and screams and just draw attention, it doesn't say that the person is smart. If you are not talking, it doesn't say you are not on top of your game. It doesn't say you are not aware of what is planning or what is being planned. As a matter of truth, George Weah knows every day what is happening within Joseph Yoma Boakai office, Joseph Yoma Boakai house. George Weah knows. This country is small. The same way yesterday, they said that they knew what was happening in the executive mansion. They knew what was happening in George Weah's house because of their whatever they were depending on. The same way, George Weah is aware. He knows exactly. When they finish discussing, George Weah is aware. If George Weah was that kind of person that we see of other people, or like other people just talk to this country in different things. The other politicians, when they hear something, then they bring it out. When they hear something, that's why the Bible says he who keeps his mouth. It doesn't say you can. It only means that you hear, you plan, you go ahead of them before they can think on executing against you. You are already off, and they jump into their own pit. Everything Unity Party is doing is a trick. They are afraid. They are afraid. They are coming up with all kinds of things, and none of them working. They try, it's not working. Every attempt, they are defeated. Every attempt, they don't know how to go about it. They think that George Weah is a Peking, that when they come out with this, when they come out with that, then he gets frightened. George Weah has hard skin. George Weah's skin is hard. George Weah talks less, but he is far-sighted. George Weah is not afraid of Joseph Yuma Boakai. And George Weah would never ever be afraid of Joseph Yuma Boakai. It is Joseph Yuma Boakai who is afraid of George Weah. It takes George Weah. It takes George Weah just to reason out. Boakai is uncomfortable. You can have all of the political machineries, military machineries, police machinery, whatever. George Weah is never afraid of Joseph Yuma Boakai. It is Joseph Yuma Boakai who is afraid of George Weah. Joseph Yuma Boakai has the military, he has the police, but George Weah has the people, and you can do nothing to the people. The most powerful man in this country is George Weah, not Joseph Yuma Boakai. Joseph Yuma Boakai is just the president. But the most powerful man is George Weah. The most popular man is George Weah. The man whom the people waiting ready to vote for 2029, that George Weah. The people who just want God to fast forward the year. George Weah people. Put election on any time in this country. Unity Party can never ever beat George Weah. Whatever they think they can do 20 or they're preparing for 2029 against, George Weah is on top of their game.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency.
When you hear them say that George Weah is not coming back to the presidency, this is what they are referring to. They will use everything within their power. But the last thing Unity Party will ever want to do to create the atmosphere of Uganda, to create the atmosphere of Cameroon, to create the atmosphere of any hostile atmosphere or what we have seen, because I maintain, and that is, there's no way they can change that statement. There's no way they will say, oh, we mean this, we mean that. No. If you said that given what we would do, given what we're doing now, and what we would do, it will be difficult for George Weah to return because we will have surpassed his progress. Then you are sounding democratic. Then anybody can buy into such a conversation intellectually. When you say unconditionally that George Weah would never, you use the word never, return to the presidency again in this country, you are saying that as long as you have the power, you will use any and everything against him. Even if the atmosphere, even if it would create the Ugandan atmosphere, we will do it. That's what is meant by that statement. That's what I told you yesterday. There are certain statements you can make. There are certain statements, they are provocative. They have the ability to incite. You don't make certain statements. That is why the very government can caution citizens against making certain statements. What do they say? They will say such a statement is counterproductive to the peace, meaning it can cause chaos. They will say it has the proclivity of creating instability. What are they referring to when they're using that statement? That it can provoke, it can tempt anything, it can stir up anything, anybody. But the people who call themselves seasoned politicians, the people who call themselves government politicians, the people who call themselves educated people, are creating a scene, an uncomfortable scene. They want to create an uprising, but that uprising will not come from George Weah. They want to create instability and attribute it to George Weah, but it will never come from George Weah. George Weah is on top of his game. George Weah is far-sighted. He knows. And that's why the statement explains it all. It summarizes everything George Weah far-sightedness politically of what Unity Party is against him going into 2029.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
Because he's far above them. Far above them. With reasoning. You continue to make such statements. You continue to say, we will never return. You're not saying anything from a democratic standpoint or a developmental standpoint. You people are saying that we have the power. We will do anything within our reach. will use everything available to us to prevent this man from participating in this election. And whatever happened, the international community will just say for the sake of peace. You stop using that statement. We are cautioning you all. You stop using that statement, and the interpretation I've given you, there is no way Unity Party people can put it another way. That is exactly. That statement has only one definition. It doesn't have two, it doesn't have three, it doesn't have four, it doesn't have five. It has one. In a setting like this, if you say that George Weah would never return to the presidency using the word never, you are saying that he will see it going into 2029. 2029 will do everything we can within our reach that he would not. You're not saying. If you said, because that's reasoning, when you put a statement out, you have to be mindful. You have to choose your words appropriately. Your content may be good, but the words that you use will give it a different interpretation. If you people say that given what our government is doing, we will do more than this, and the people, by the time we get into 2029, the people will have seen, and so it will be difficult for George Weah and the Congress of Democratic Change. Then people can buy into that intellectually. They'll intellectualize. They will not think of anything suppressing the leading candidate, doing this, doing that, because you put it on development ground. But if you are not putting anything on development ground, you are speaking like you have the authority and truly you have everything. So based on that, you say George Weah will never come back. You go on to say that George Weah messed the country or so by your reasoning that George Weah messed the country, or based on that he will never come back. So you are vexed. You are vexed. Just think about it. You are vexed from your expression that George Weah messed the country, or you are vexed. So you're using that mess up now that we use our authority. This man will never come back. We will stay here as long as we want to. We can see why your party chairman, Pastor Luther Tappe, say you will stay in power for 200 years. We wish you well. Your other people say you will share it. We wish you people well. We hope that your party chairman can live for 200 years. We don't want to live for 200 years. We just want to do what is right and live. You can go on living for 200 years, even 300 years. You can be the modern days Methuselah. You can live, you can reign for as long as you can even turn this country. You can use the Uganda model. In Uganda, the son, Yoweri Museveni's son, is the head of defense and military. The daughter is the central bank governor. The wife, I think wife or mother, the minister of education, the father, the president. You can even boast, just as Yoweri Museveni's son boasted. He said that he killed 200 supporters of Bobi Wine, the leading opposition figure. And he gave Bobi Wine 48 hours to turn himself in. You can do anything. You can come over whatever the intimidatory tactics. It can never, ever stop George Weah from being on that ballot. The last thing you ever want to do is to create intimidatory atmosphere. You continue to say George Weah not coming back. George Weah himself has no time for you. you intentionally, willfully, unregrettably destroy his headquarters. Before then, when Joseph Yeman Boaka came to power newly, all of us know that there's nothing hidden about it. They ran to the party headquarters and say, oh, drug people, they're raiding, get drugs around there. But prior to going to CDC headquarters, they had drugs all over, everywhere. Only that place they saw as having drugs. Not satisfied, you look for a way to destroy it. George Weah again was ahead of that trick. Again, George Weah was ahead of that trick when he said, "You'll leave them. This is another failed attempt." Again, George Weah never gave in. Everything Unity Party is doing, they want to draw Weah. They're not smart. They're saying these things, doing these things to get Weah coming out to say some things. Then they will give it, they will paint it in a way that even the international community will start looking at George Weah different. They're not smart. Oh, how I like this statement. They're not smart. George Weah is far smarter than them.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks.
That's why the people tell you silence. It's not stupidity. It's not weakness. If a person isn't talking, it doesn't say the person is weak. It doesn't say the person is strengthless. It doesn't say the person does not have any ability to speak. It only means the person is reasoning. It only means the person is reasoning. George Weah is typical of James 1:19, and James 1:19 is typical of George Weah. James 1:19 is typical of George Weah, and George Weah is typical of James 1:19. What James 1:19 said: be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to anger. Slow to anger. George Weah never gave in to anything called anger. If George Weah was that anger-driven person, you're going to hear clash between he and Boaka, everyday clash. So much so that the American embassy will step in, the European Union will step in, the other people will step in, as we see in other countries. But George Weah suppresses his anger. He keeps his anger in check. He allows reason to prevail. He's typical of James 1:19. And James 1:19 is typical of George Weah. George Weah listens more, he speaks less. How often you hear George Weah talk? He does when it is necessary. And when he speaks, the entire Unity Party uncomfortable. Madness is within themselves. They are wrestling against themselves. They are soliloquying on George Weah's name. While he amusing himself, he's concentrating on other things that make him their content. How often do you hear George Weah talk? Unity Party can never ever stop George Weah, and Unity Party can never ever beat George Weah, and it can never create any intimidatory atmosphere politically, imperially. It can never beat George Weah. Never. Never. And George Weah is back in the presidency. I'm not using will. The time is already there. preparations going on. George Weah is not faithless. George Weah is not a self-fulfilling prophecy. No, a self-fulfilling prophecy is based on self-defect. George Weah is not thinking anything negative. Everything positive going into 2029. That's why he's preparing. And how? He cannot be more evidential than giving Unity Party the first indication of a prepared mind ready to go into 2029 with a win. The headquarters. What political party in this town can do that? What political party in this town can do that? We have not seen it. George Weah gone unprecedented in Liberia. The only politician, the only political leader, the ruling establishment destroyed his headquarters and started to construct a new one. When the ruling establishment has nothing of its own, because they did not have anything of their own, so they did not want George Weah to have something of his own. So what George Weah had, they destroy it. Yet, James 1:19 came into place. He reasoned, spoke less, showed no anger, went into action. He's also typical of James 2. When he said, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. We are went through different kinds of temptations, and he's still going through different kinds of temptations from Unity Party. What do you see George Weah do? He counted all joy. And that's what God is working, is fighting George Weah battle. Every attempt Unity Party failed. Every attempt they draw in their own hole. If George Weah was reacting, George Weah was that anger-driven person, as we see all politicians. Every day there will be clash between George Weah and Josiah Yuma-Boakai, and George Weah, and the country will just be, you just hear people say, yeah, man, this here is wrong. The country can be like that. Already the country is in an uncomfortable state. Then you have that. You hear people, hey, man. Yes, let's stop this thing, man. That's that. George Weah, that's what Unity Party wants. But George Weah is not buying into their tricks. They think they can put George Weah, they can put the international community against George Weah. Already they're feeling they have a big disgrace after bragging and boasting and ranting that Boakai has shown leadership. Boakai restored the country's international image. Look how damning it is now. The shame and more coming. They think they're doing right. That we are allowed them to talk. We are allowed them to do. Somebody said we will sit down there and they allow Cloud, Marie, Weah Foundation, Cloud Foundation to go. George Weah is not. Listen, when you hear George Weah say he's not a politician, people have to put on their reasoning ability good. Because we are so sentimental in this country, reasoning goes away. Sentiment or emotion come up. Well, men say he's not a politician, but who he is. By your standard of politicians in Liberia, is that person who go talking. Ever see these ones around? Whole day they're talking from one end to another, from one radio station to another, every letting they jump inside to go and say. That is the understanding of most people in this country of who a politician is or what a politician is. When you're not shouting and ranting, you're gallivanting all over the place, they say you are not. George Weah is not that kind of politician. That's what he meant. He's not that kind of politician, because that's what Liberian politicians are. George Weah is a political being because every human being is a political being. But he's not this kind of politician that you go, you learn this, you eat this, you eat that, you eat that, you eat that. So because George Weah is not talking that way of a usual Liberian politician, they say George Weah would. Do you know how many terrible, unprecedented problems George Weah solved behind the scene? Against him, against his friends, against other people, and he never ever made the world to know that he did. That is the kind of politician that George Weah is. The same way George Weah assisted people, George Weah took people from the dungeon. George Weah used everything and every penny of himself, and he did not make anybody to know. Have you ever heard George Weah one day say, I did this, I did that for that person? Except you bring it up, then the world knows. Over the time they say, if he had all the money, why his wife didn't build foundation? Why his wife didn't do this for all kind of stuff? But the very George Weah, when this country was at the brink, when this country had not a dime, when all of the presidents here could not afford anything for this very country, that George Weah money was coming to this country. That George Weah, the white man told us that George Weah would take people, he would risk their lives, that they should pass through Africa or other place to bring money to this country. That George Weah money. If George Weah was not building at that time, he was using that money on Liberia. Who in this country, in such a time that the country was facing, or was in, whoever took their dime, whoever risked anything, their life to ensure that something of peace, something of improving people's life and just giving, whoever did it. Nobody can put a hand up, just as Jesus Christ asked, let him be the first to raise a hand. Nobody can do it. The only name that the whole world knows, George Weah. And then people will sit in their mental dementia state and say, George Weah, why he had money, why he did not do that, why he did not do that. That's a political statement. Because you want them to take it from Clyde Weah. What George Weah has done in this country, Joseph Boakai has never done it, Ellen Johnson has never done it, Charles Taylor has never done it, Judy Brown has never done it, nobody has ever done it. What George Weah did for this country owes a debt of gratitude to George Weah. There is no name this country owes a debt of gratitude but George Weah. Nobody consciously, nobody within the recesses of their heart can put a hand on and say they did this, they did it, they did that for the country. They can never, because they did nothing. But George Weah can raise his hand high. George Weah can walk with pride and dignity. George Weah can even boast that I did this, I did that, but that's not his character. So you will not hear it. But God knows that he did. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. I see your time is against me. I'm against time, brother. I see you. We're back tomorrow. Again, don't worry. We're not talking. This image returns to the presidency 2029. This character returns to the presidency 2029. We will sit right here. We run the campaign, and we're running the campaign from right here. We are rebranding from right here. We'll do everything from right here. In 2029, you will see it. Then you will know that we make business. You'll be talking, George, we are coming back. You'll be talking 12 years. We're not talking 12 years. It doesn't make sense to talk 12 years. 12 years not for us. Today is for us. God said, use every day that is given unto you. What good is talking about 2029, talking about 12 years when you're not there yet? That's what he said. Proverbs 27:1. He said, do not boast of the morrow, for you do not know what the morrow brings. What that means, concentrate on what you have. He said, what is your life that you should boast? You rant about it. You can be like those diaspora Jews who felt that, oh yeah, they had 12 years. And they told people like 12 years. You use the time. We are using today. Every day is a day for George Weah. Every day you need today to get to 2029. You cannot be talking about 2029 when you fight for 2029. Today is George Weah 2029. Every time we say that George Weah 2029, we use it to talk about George Weah preparation, to talk about George Weah, to rebrand George Weah, to present the policy of George Weah. So we're everything George Weah. We're taking it gradually. You'll be talking at 12 years. It doesn't make sense to us to talk about 12 years because 12 years is not unto us, 12 years unto God. He said 2029. We didn't say 2029. 2029 is set by God. 2029 is not for us. Today is for us. So we use today to present George Weah, that unique character politically, that this country owes a debt of gratitude. This country does not owe any debt of gratitude to Joe Biden. It does not owe any debt of gratitude to Ellen. It does not owe any debt of gratitude to any other leader of this country. Only George Weah. Only George Weah, this country owes a debt of gratitude. And this country cannot be an ingrate. If this country shows an ingrate, and that's what Unity Party people want you people to do. They're telling you George Weah coming back, George Weah mess country up. Nobody messed this country up but Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Nobody killed thousands of people in this country but Ellen Johnson Sirleaf when she brought her people to her. Nobody restored the image. Nobody gave people life in this country. Nobody helped Liberian people in their thousands, almost their millions, than George Weah. They say George Weah messed country up. The Ellen messed country up. And all the people that are saying it because they were in Ellen government. So they have nothing to show. They think that they can use George Weah as the chonka or the surrogate. You can put George Weah against the people because George Weah reality is convincing. Ellen messed the country up because Ellen brought war. Ellen brought Charles Taylor. Ellen brought Prince George. Ellen brought all of those people. Today, all our infrastructure gone. That's what you call mess up. You the people, you people were Ellen had millions, billions of dollars into the country. You people, the houses that you have today, the houses that you have, some of you have 2-3 houses. Where you got the money from? Ellen regime. Corruption was all over the place. We have the document. The American government said they will not put their money in any rogue regime here in Ellen's time. People were building houses in 2 months, 3 months. People were building houses for the girlfriends. The girl will wake up in the morning and go to the man's office and say, I like the car, and I want a new car. And I went to the garage, I saw this car. Less than an hour or two, the girl has the car because the money was there. They're manipulating every vouchers, every document at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. It was a walk in the park financially. It was a field day financially. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Why did Ellen Johnson Sirleaf say corruption was vampire? Why did she? An admittance that it was a normal corruption was normalized in her administration. And you say George Weah messed country up? It's just a fear. But that politics will not work against George Weah, except we're not here, except we are not aware, except we're not part of past history. That's what Martin Luther King said. One of the reasons that God has allowed me to live in this period is to see what is unfolding in history. God allowed us to live in Ellen's period. God allowed us to live in George Weah period so that we lead a new course. When they say George Weah did not do the George Weah mess the country, I would say no. George Weah inherited mess, toilet from Ellen. And George Weah, the only person in Liberia's political history to introduce development politics. Oh God, I see you. I I don't want the information just coming. No, I beg here. Let me leave it as it is. I see you. Let's go home with the man himself. Let's go home. They say, oh, the man are making music again. He's a Dan Buga. George Weah personality has never changed. George Weah can change his personality. If you are antisocial, George Weah is not antisocial. You also had George Weah went on the field. George Weah personality is just unique, distinct, exquisite from everybody in this country. You saw it? George Weah is sociable. The other people are not sociable. That's why they can say, oh, the men are there. George Weah doing show your own personality. You not get anything, you sting gray. You know how to get along with people. I see you, man. I see you. This is how we go home. I see you. Weah returns. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. I see you. The news is on at 6. Join us for that, please. At 6 p.m., King's Newsroom. And then at 6:50, Isiaka Sharif and Josephine Pello Johnson are in with CDC Hour. And then the evening, you know exactly. I need not do the presenters mention, but you already know the doctor himself, the teacher of the land, the light of the land, the evangelist, the Anthony at law, A.B. William with Face the Issues. This is how we go home.
Joy. Rastafari. It's a redemption day.
Wagwan must struggle me.
Wagwan revolution, people. Wagwan the blue revolution. You ready? CDC, you ready? Let's go. CDC come. CDC come. CDC build. CDC build. CDC red. CDC red. Take what just coming. Yeah, we building a new home. Let's build a new home.